Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Hartglass. You're listening to It's All About Food. Thank you once again for being here. My guest is Erika Hazel, the Bizerkeley vegan. The Bizerkeley vegan is the monitor of vegan entrepreneur Erika Hazel after she transitioned to the vegan lifestyle in Berkeley, California in 2016. Urban Dictionary defines Bizerkeley, that's Berzerkeley, as a slang term used to describe the beautiful, politically, and socially liberal Mecca that is the city of Berkeley. Berserk plus Berkeley. After growing up hearing the nickname for years, Erika adopted the Bizerkeley vegan denomination because she interpreted it as bizarre Berkeley, meaning unique, unconventional, and extraordinary, which is how the city of Berkeley makes her feel. Erika is a nationally recognized vegan businesswoman, recipe creator, magazine contributor, and philanthropist. As a vegan food expert, Erika is always discovering the best vegan cuisine to share with her family and social media followers to make the world a more vegan place, one bite at a time. The Bizerkeley vegan is not only a popular social media influencer and food blogger, but also specializes in events, consultations, and speaking engagements. Erika's goal is to engage with people to help them find the best plant-based foods the world has to offer. And for more information, visit thebizerkeleyvegan.com or follow It's Erika Hazel on Instagram. All right, I'm here with Erika, the Bizerkeley vegan, and we're going to be talking about a big event coming up on September 1st, the Bizerkeley Food Festival. Erika, welcome to It's All About Food, and let's talk about the big party.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
So, okay, we're going to talk about the food festival, but we have to first know more about you.
Yeah.
I understand you're a vegan. Tell me your vegan story, and then maybe we'll get into why you wanted to have a food festival, this is the fourth one coming up, I think.
Yes, this is our fourth annual.
Okay, cool. Go.
Yeah, so I've always been a lover of food, and I definitely believe I get that from my mother. She was one of those working moms who also cooked a lot. And so I think I was always destined to go vegan because as a kid, I was always like pro animals. My uncle teased me all the time and called me Captain Planet, which is a cartoon from way back when. And so I was always about saving the whales and everything in between. And I think, I don't know what sparked it, but I went vegetarian, I think like in elementary school
Mm.
at one point. And my cousin teased me. He was like, "You're not a vegetarian, you're eating beans, and beans are protein, and protein is meat." I'm like, okay, we're both in elementary school. You don't get that protein and meat are not the same thing. But yeah, so I think
Wow. Now, I just want to stop there because that is profound, because our society is very manipulated and indoctrinated to go along a certain path. And we learned a long time ago that protein was so important, and it is important, but the three macronutrients are important: protein, carbohydrate, and fat. And we've been taught, mostly in the last 50 years,
yes.
to think of protein as meat. And so when we say beans have protein, somebody's calling it meat. I just had to put an exclamation point there. That's amazing.
Yeah, and for a kid, like you said, it comes from the top down. So what are we teaching adults who are also now teaching children these
Certainly
misleading
not
facts?
good lessons in nutrition. No.
Right. Right. So, yeah, I have always been a lover of food. I remember growing up, I had my mom's JVC camcorder, and I had my own little cooking show where I taught people how to make a Mickey Mouse ice cream sundae, and things like that. And so for me, food has always been food equals love, food equals gathering, food equals family. And in college, when I went to school in Southern California, I was terrified of cooking meat. I'm like, I'm gonna give
Hmm.
myself E. coli, I'm gonna give myself food poisoning. And I went pescatarian in 2013. during my internship at the Oakland Zoo, which was
Oh,
also, yeah, I got to pick up elephant poop every day. It was
oh my
awesome.
God. Yeah.
Working with the world's largest herbivores, kind of kept me on that path, but living at home with people who are very devout meat eaters, which I nicknamed little velociraptors, my family, it was hard. And so I went back to eating meat, and then I finally took the vegan leap in 2016.
Yay. We
Yeah,
bow to you and the animals thank you and the planet thanks you.
welcome. It's all fun.
Well, that's a lovely story. And I don't want to say it's an unusual story because a lot of people go down similar paths, especially children. I think naturally we get it as children. And many children, unfortunately, because we look to our parents and our caregivers for where to go, it's how we're programmed. We learn maybe not the best lessons, but
Right.
there's something intuitive in us that we know we're supposed to be nice to the other species on this planet, and they're not meant to be morsels on our plate. And we're
Right.
meant to care for them and love them. That's natural. That's normal. What we're doing
Yes.
being vegans is not extreme.
Right. Not
It,
at all.
it's what everyone else is doing is extreme, but somehow we've normalized it. We've normalized a lot of awful things in human culture.
In human history, yeah. This is just a part of that pie that we just
That whole
can't seem to.
exploitive nonsense that we participate in. And I think we can do better,
Yes,
but it's
agreed.
hard and it takes courageous people like you. It does. It takes courage to do this.
I appreciate you saying that. And so many people have said that to me, and like they'll say a post on my Instagram page and be like, "Oh, thank you so much for your activism and all that you do." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, this is for me, I'm literally just acting out my wildest dreams. I see something I want to do and I do it. I think I would feel less whole if I wasn't doing this. I would feel like there was a piece there's a piece of me that would be missing. And the festival, for lack of a better term, is purely for selfish reasons. My friends make amazing vegan food that everyone should try and everyone should know about. And if we didn't band together as a community to help these small business owners stay in business, where would I get my amazing vegan po' boys? Where would I get my amazing, vegan enchiladas? And so it's like I am purely doing this because I can't imagine my friends not being able to live their dreams, which is making amazing food.
Well, I love that this is your dream. We need you. We need more of you.
Thank you.
And now let's move on to the Bizerkeley Food Festival.
Yeah.
Now, just for a moment, I want to say that I understand your pain. Not that it's pain, but to organize a festival like this is very, very difficult and challenging. Why do I say that? Because back in 2001, 23 years ago, probably before you were born.
Oh no, I was 10.
Okay, you were 10. Um, I organized the Taste of Health, a food festival in Manhattan at Lincoln Center. And which Lincoln Center campus is probably the most amazing location in Manhattan. I have no idea how the universe allowed me to have an event there because it's no longer possible. They have since 2006 they started renovating the location and it's untouchable now. But back then, I was able to host the Taste of Health. It was a vegan festival, and we had I did it for 5 years until they renovated the space, and then I stopped, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. It was amazing for a number of reasons. Not that I'm patting myself on the back, but I guess I am.
You
But I
have
want,
to.
but I want you to know that I understand what you're doing. But there was no Facebook. There was no social
Mm,
media. I have
right.
no idea how we did it. I totally forgot how to network without the
Mm,
internet. We had a website. Um, and there were some kind of forums online at the time, but basically it was word of mouth, it was flyers. And because it was Lincoln Center, they naturally had traffic throughout the
right.
campus, which was ideal because it
Right.
was the people that I wanted. It wasn't the choir.
Right.
And we had some 10,000 people pass through during those events. It had to be free. That was one of the
Tenants.
requirements of renting the space. but it was an amazing event, an amazing opportunity. And again, I have no idea how I did it because it's a mammoth job and I would never want to do it again. So I bow to you for taking it on. But it was hard then also because there weren't many vegan vendors. There were some,
Mm,
but not a lot. And most of them were in the Bay Area. They were not in New York. I
really?
mean, we have a lot in Brooklyn now,
Right.
a small businesses, and we have a lot of restaurants, which is great. But back then we didn't have many. And those that were starting businesses, they weren't really available to attend an event because they were stretched thin as it was.
Right.
And now there are so many more, and that's really something to celebrate and have a
Mm,
festival about. Anyway,
absolutely.
that's where I'm coming from. So, why did you want to have a food festival? And did you know before getting involved how challenging it would be?
Ooh, those are very good questions. But before I answer those, I want to say thank you so much for your contribution as well. And I think in the same vein, I appreciate you naming how you named your festival, because that's also the inspiration for Bizerkeley Food Festival. We are a 100% vegan festival. I'm very strict about that, but I didn't want it to be like a veg fest. I didn't want it to have vegan in the name because it's
Right,
just at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, it's just food
right.
that just happens to be great for everyone and and everything on the planet. Um, so yeah, so for me, why did I want a food festival? In recent years, I've been blaming or thanking my ADHD. It makes me feel unstoppable and like I can do anything. So I've been vegan for almost 8 years this October, and I started out by going to different vegan events here in the Bay Area, Southern California, Portland. I've been to the Atlantic City in
Mm,
New Jersey, vegan food festival or veg fest. And so after going to those, and like I said earlier, my friends are chefs. And so when I would go to these pop-up events or I've helped my friends cater, I've been, the customer and behind the scenes for vegan businesses. And seeing their trials and tribulations, seeing what worked for them, seeing what worked for me as a consumer, I was like, and I'm an innate event planner. I was like, I can do this. We can start small. I can do this. And so I've been doing philanthropy since I was 8 years old. My very first event was I asked my parents, how do children who don't have a home, how do homeless children get presents from Santa? And I don't think they really had a good answer. I don't remember what their answer was, but they were like, well, why don't we help? Why don't we help Santa? And so we raised toys for the local homeless shelter in my hometown. That was my first event, did it again in the 8th grade, and we made the newspaper. But I've always wanted to give back. And so since Bizerkeley Food Fest's inception, we've donated over $8,000 to local animal shelters and animal sanctuaries. And so it all started, I was like, okay, step one, find a venue. I already knew chefs, I already knew vendors from going to festivals. So I wasn't worried about that piece per se, but I was like, where are we going to do it? And then the hardest piece was working with City Hall or, the health permits, the event permits and all that stuff. But like literally going back to the universe conspired for this to happen because no matter what, I've met people who are like, okay, Erika, we'll help you. Okay, we'll get your application. Okay.
wow.
So I've hit road bumps and speed bumps, but it was never anything that was impossible or felt impossible. So yeah, the very
I
first,
just want to say, dealing with the permits. I mean, I don't know in 2024 if it's any different and in California than it was in New York in the early 2000s, but there was like no website saying how to have an event and these are the things you need to do and these are the permits you need to get. It's like phone call after phone call and somebody says, "Oh, but you need this permit." Well, where do I get that? Well, you gotta go. And it was
yeah.
never, it was a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, I found that I get my way when I go someplace in person. So I just walked down to City Hall and I was like, how do I do this? And they walked
Hmm.
me through everything. And I've done the same thing because we're planning on taking this to Honolulu, Hawaii. I did the same thing there. I was like, okay, which office do I go to? Because I want to do a food festival. And they were all super supportive and helpful there too. So yeah, I walked into City Hall, I think it was like late February 2020, and we were talking about coronavirus. And I was like, okay, well, it should be over by May. It was not over by May.
Wow.
And so fall 2020, that's why if you I have a t-shirt around here somewhere, but in all of our t-shirts it says Bizerkeley Food Fest ever since 2020 because our very first festival was a virtual bingo game that if you supported my vendors at their brick and mortars, their food trucks
Nice.
or wherever, we had people donate prizes. So yeah, we gave away about a dozen prizes our first year and supported these vegan businesses to help them from going, belly up during COVID. And so our very first in-person one was Labor Day weekend 2021. I have the original poster around here somewhere, but yeah, it's just grown and grown and grown since
Well,
then.
that's interesting. That's kind of a way to build your network before you actually have an in-live event. And choosing the venue is a very challenging thing, or finding the venue. So on top of getting the permits, yeah. But that maybe in hindsight, that was kind of a better way to go. Virtual the first year, right?
Yeah, the bingo game was super fun. And this is like my creative outlet, so it was a great way to do that. And so Sports Basement, which is a local, it's like a REI kind of sports store. They offer their community spaces for free to the public. All you have to do is sign up. And so we were able to use their community room and their parking lot to have our vendors. And it was so great. We sold out. There were people like, I drove all the way from, Santa Cruz, which is like 60 miles away. I drove here. I thought you were selling tickets at the door. I was like, no, this is COVID. It's 2021. We have to be safe. So we ended up letting people in at the door. We had about 3 food trucks on the street serving everyone.
Cool.
Yeah, it was
That's
it
cool.
was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Okay, so do you have any idea of the demographics of the people that attend? Are they vegan, not vegan curious, not at all vegan, young, old, mixed?
Um, we have babies. My
Babies are
friends have
good.
My friends have consistently brought their infants to the festival. Some of our oldest, I would say, customers are in their 70s, 80 years old. Our furthest guests have come from Los Angeles,
Mm,
Northern Nevada, Reno, Nevada.
wow.
I'm very surprised, even though I'm Black, I'm very surprised at how many African Americans show up. I'm always like, how'd you guys know? How'd you guys find out? So we definitely have a lot of Black folks who show up. It's a very diverse event. We have a lot of kids, which is amazing, teaching them young, getting them while they're young. And I would say the majority of our guests are not vegan, which is the best part because we offer so many samples. You get to test drive veganism without the financial commitment. And if you like what you see, we the this festival is predicated on amazing food, not we use amazing food to push the vegan agenda.
Mm,
I don't accept every vendor
mm,
because I started the Bizerkeley Vegan, my moniker, my Instagram page as a food critic. I would go around and try food around the Bay Area, SoCal, on my travels. And so I've tried people's food and they're like, oh, can I be a vendor at your event? And I'm like, I think your recipe needs some more tweaking. Let's talk in a couple of years. And oftentimes it does take about 1 to 2 years for um a chef to improve their recipe, and that's fine. My thing is that I can't just serve anything to the public in a curated event. That the mission is to get non-vegans to eat vegan food more frequently.
hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at that from a very positive point of view that you actually have a choice of vendors to choose from, and you can choose the ones that are doing the best in your opinion, in terms of
Yeah.
taste. Yeah. And
Oh
there is
yeah.
a wide range of vegan food out there. Vegan, there's so many things. There's unhealthy, highly processed vegan, and then we have
Right.
all the way to an apple, an organic apple, which is very simple and pure and vegan, and there's all that's in between. My primary goal, and I don't know about yours, but I got into this whole thing when I was 15. I didn't want to kill animals. So my primary number one goal is if people want to eat junk food, that's their choice. Fine. Make it vegan. That's
That's
all.
it.
We don't have to torture animals to Put in your unhealthy food, okay? And then if you want to eat healthier, of course, plant food is the best thing you can possibly consume. So it's a win-win for animals, people, and the environment.
Absolutely. I am a proud junk food vegan who also loves a good green juice. And so I love what you said because the beautiful part about, the demographics of the festival, a lot of my vendors aren't vegan. They come and they share their vegan options. So even our vendors aren't vegan and they love and they come back year after year after year.
Mm. Oh, okay. So the vendors are not all vegan. They're just offering, yeah.
Yeah, so like last year we had a Vietnamese pho soup company come and he offers, different non-vegan options in his restaurant, but he brought all of his vegan options, did samplings, did tastings, and had such a great response that he's increasing his vegan options. And so, I think the other vegan challenge on a daily basis is where am I going to go where I can eat and I know they know vegan? Because that's very scary going to a non-vegan place and like am I going to get food? Am I going to get sick?
Hmm. I want to focus mostly on the positive, but just for a moment, I want to ask you what your challenges have been having this festival. I know that when I did it, and I've been to others, there are always the critics
Oh yeah.
that can easily point out what you are doing wrong in their mind. And it's funny, it happens in all industries, all businesses, all nonprofits, all events, the people who say what you're doing wrong, but they can't do it themselves. I always say, if you don't like it, do it your way, do it.
Right.
But I'm
Uh,
imagining there have been critics.
um, you know, how can I put this? It hasn't been so much critics. It's been um vendors who are not in alignment with my mission statement more so. I think the only feedback our second year in 2022 in person was rough because we had like 3,000 people in a
Mm-hmm.
small space. And I guess I didn't budget for enough food vendors and the lines were like an hour long.
Oh, yeah.
So from the customer's perspective, that was not good that they had to wait so long for their food. But I've had to ban a few dozen or so vendors because they brought leather when I told them no animal products. And they tried to sell their leather products to vegans who are like, I don't wear leather. I'm a vegan. I'm like, oh, vegans buy my stuff all the time. And then I had a very like contentious falling out with an ice cream vendor who was mad because like you and I believe if as long as it's vegan, I'm cool with it for the most part. They were mad that I had a vendor who used, oils and used ingredients that they didn't like. And they
Oh,
called me a sellout for like having them there. And I'm like, well, you were selling clean coconut-based vegan ice cream. They were selling techie AI vegan. They were, giving away samples of that. Like, what's the problem? Well, you're that's not clean and that's not healthy. And I'm like, I never said I would. It's vegan. That's what I'm here for.
right.
And this is a
You don't have
national.
to try it.
Well, yeah, they were trying to tell me how to run my event, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's why I ran my own event because I get to be the boss.
Yeah. People never understand. I imagine that you need to get lots of volunteers to work the event too.
Yes, we're
And
very.
I'll never forget. I had just wonderful volunteers, and I'm very grateful for that back then. I just remember once when I was planning the event, and this one woman was volunteering, and this was before the event, and she was basically like, What else could there possibly be to do?" She just didn't understand that there was so much to do. It just always made me smile.
Yes,
But
and
yeah,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, it just, you need a lot of bodies.
Yes, and the hard part about Bizerkeley Food Fest is that it's so much fun. People are like, I don't want to work it. I just want to hang out. And I'm like, I know, but I need you to take tickets and put wristbands on.
Right? So many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have to just run around and solve all the problems that are happening all day, right?
That proved to be almost fatal last year. I literally broke down crying like
Mm.
3 hours in the festival. I couldn't wait for it to be over last year because I tried to do everything myself. and it was so bad. And I
Hmm.
learned my lesson from last year. And so this year, we have an executive committee. We've hired undocumented day laborers who are looking for work.
Wow.
So giving back to our local community in that way. We have about 8 committee members. I have an intern this year. I have a virtual assistant who will be monitoring our social media page to repost all the cool things that are happening. We've hired security guards every year, and so I finally have enough help this year. But the event has become so cool. It's going to be hard to get people to work. It's going to be hard to get people to stay volunteering because we have a bounce house. We have a concert all day long. We
Mm.
have so many samples and giveaways and wine and beer, and it's just going to be so hard to get people to work, but that's a good thing. It's a good problem to have.
So you said you visited numerous veg festivals around the country before you started this, and Berkeley has had a unique character, and that's why the Bizerkeley term has come out, and you rewrote the way you spell Bizerkeley. I don't know if there's an official approved way to say Bizerkeley, but you have your own. Is there a Bizerkeley character that's different from the rest of the festivals?
Oh, like an element of my festival is different from everyone else's?
Yeah.
I would say yes. We have 5 pillars, and those pillars are my North Star, my guiding light. And so I take what I've seen other people, for lack of a better term, do badly, and
Okay.
incorporated that into my festival. So I hire a local coffee shop to make vegan waffles and coffee for all of my vendors and volunteers first thing in the morning, so they're fed and caffeinated.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because I volunteered and run festivals for other people, and
Is
I
it
know
timeless coffee or who does it?
it's a local man. His name is Travelin' Joe, like Java
Okay.
Joe. And he catered a welcome back to school event at one of the schools I worked at. And I was like, oh my God, these are the best vegan Belgian waffles I've had in my entire
Mm,
life. So Travelin' Joe comes back every year and serves up
wow.
hot waffles and coffee for us.
Nice.
I think the other thing that sets us apart is that we're a nonprofit event. Like, we raise money for the ones that need it the most, the animals. And so handing, an animal sanctuary a check for $3,500, $3,000, um, it's about giving back. The whole event is about giving back to the small businesses that make the event amazing, and also the why, the animals.
So who are the small businesses that are going to attend this event?
Yes. So we have vendors coming from all over the country,
Mm,
both big, small, and medium. Um, so from Chicago, we have Nature's Find.
hmm.
They're coming for, I think, their 3rd year in a row that they're participating in the festival. We have San Francisco's famous, the Vegan Hood Chefs, who will be serving up their vegan Cajun soul food from their food truck. We have Rio Good coming all the way from Bend, Oregon, to
Mm.
serve up their Brazilian cheesy bread. And locally, we have Berkeley's own, it's All Pow, which is like all good, or it's all done in Hawaiian. So they'll be serving up like vegan poke and vegan musubi.
Mm.
And so one of our new vendors, Aframist, it is a Ghanaian 100% biodegradable, organic, sustainable vegan chocolate with only 4 ingredients. It's delicious. I got to try it on Saturday,
Mm.
and at $5 a bar, he's gonna be sold out in no time.
That's great. Okay, so we've got great food, and then you have music too.
Yes.
And who's doing that?
We have a local artist collective called Audio Pharmacy that will be DJing all day long today. We do have a vegan guitar player who will be performing for the 2nd year in a row, Yosef Perez. So we're really excited to have him back again. And our headliner, which I just have to get on my hands and knees and thank him, Jordan Gomes. He is a local rapper. Um, we got him to go vegan for the whole month of August. We got a
Wow.
non-vegan to go vegan for the whole month of August. He's been traveling up and down California, eating vegan food and documenting his vegan journey.
Mm.
And he says he's never felt better.
So do you think you'll stick with it?
Whether he sticks with it or not, I'm not sure, but I definitely think that we have I believe in the philosophy of each one teach one, and I renamed. So my moniker is the Bizerkeley Vegan, but my company that I just been kind of been going off my name, but my company I named it last year. I got inspired in Hawaii. Um, it's called Every Bite Counts Entertainment because every bite that you take that is vegan makes a difference in an animal, in
Mm.
an environment and in your health. And so that's my philosophy is really getting non-vegans, vegetarians, pescatarians, meatitarians to just realize to defeat. I'm a therapist, that's my background. To demystify and destigmatize veganism as a whole and to get veganism more mainstream than it's ever been before.
And so you have music and you have food. Do you have speakers? I didn't notice that in your description. Maybe not.
We had speakers a few years ago. This year we're having performances by local like different local groups as well. So we have a Hawaiian performances, African dance performances.
Mm.
Jordan and I will be having like a kind of podcast Q&A around like 2:30 in the
Mm.
afternoon. So to talk about, you've been vegan for a month. What was it like? What do you want to know more about? And so so I guess he and I will be the speakers of the day.
Okay. Well, in some ways, it's more of a party. It's music and food, and maybe people don't need to be lectured to.
So I thank you for bringing that up. We are a vegan food festival. I'm kind of anti-Veg Fest. I've been to a lot of Veg Fest. I've helped organize Veg Fest. And I love going to them, but I as a vegan, um my activism is rooted in like eating activism for lack of a better term. So yeah, we're trying to we are a food festival, not a veg fest.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I get it. I
Yeah.
like it. Party.
Yeah, eat and have a good time.
So, from the last few that you've had, do you know how you've impacted people? Do you know if people actually transitioned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take screenshots of all of the feedback that we get. One guest was like, I love Berserk Food Fest so much that I started my own vegan catering company.
Wow.
We've had guests come from far and wide. I found out yesterday when I got interviewed on Channel 4 that the segment producers like, I've been coming to your festival every year and I love it so much. And we've really helped a lot of businesses stay in business. I think, 75% of the businesses that are still in business to this day come back to Bizerkeley Food Festival. And we've just had such the feedback has been so like resounding that we want more of this. And so my kind of mission in life is to figure out how can we have Bizerkeley Food Fest on a smaller scale more frequently for food lovers and vegans alike.
I love it.
Yeah.
The Bizerkeley Food Festival. Whew. So how can people get involved? Or there's a website, I imagine, and there's a fee to attend. What does that include?
Yes, we are a ticketed event, and that's also in addition to each ticket contributing to our fundraising efforts for Herd and Flock Animal Sanctuary in Vacaville, California. Um, it helps with safety. Festivals have, gotten a little unsafe in the past few years, so we like to make sure that we know who everybody is who's coming in. Everyone has a wristband. You get in and out privileges, so that's
Mm.
really awesome. Your ticket gets you, I'm trying to, why am I trying to think about this? So your ticket gets you one entry in and out privileges. You get samples from over a dozen vendors. We have kids are free. Live music all day long. We have our beer garden. We have our game zone. We also have a petting zone. So this is, I think, our third year having
Oh,
adoptable animals
oh,
on
nice.
site.
Mm-hmm.
So California Pit Bull Rescue will be there with some puppies and some dogs looking for forever homes. And one of the best part about the first year was that it's a company that no longer exists, but it was the vegan Costco that was on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. They sent us hundreds and hundreds of almost expired products to give away to the guests. So we were able to give away, hundreds of samples to guests. So this year we'll be giving away these cute little vegan honey bears from
Mm.
Melody Foods. So for the first, it's
Well,
first come, first serve. You get a sample of something to try and take home with you as well.
you're just reminding me when I hosted my first Taste of Health, I thought we would fill 2,000 goodie bags to give away. And I did manage to get samples from vendors, and we did fill 2,000 bags. It was insane.
Yes.
It was just insane. And then I think I had them all in my apartment in New York City, my little apartment, and then I had to move them to the venue and store them overnight. Memories. I will never do that again. I'm so glad people like you are doing events like this today.
Been there, done that. I had to just recently purchase my second storage unit.
Right? Yeah, people don't get all the details that are involved, and it's just one day.
Yes, we thought about being a 2-day event. We thought we were going to be a 2-day event last year, but with like the cost, like it already cost like $20,000 to put this event on.
Right.
Just
Yep.
so
Yeah.
yeah, we're just one day. But it's really nice that we get to have just such a wonderful experience, even though this is the longest the festival has been. VIP admission begins at 11 a.m. and we're closing for the first time at 6 o'clock. So it's 7 hours of fun.
Yeah, again, unless you have organized an event, you don't realize all the different costs that are involved. So probably one of the biggest costs is renting the venue, but there are the workers that are involved. Each venue has their own rules about who you have to hire and
We
for
don't
security and for all kinds of things, and then the permits and all. You might have to get insurance and all kinds of things.
yeah, luckily we don't have that problem. Like
Mm,
that's been the beautiful part about Bizerkeley. Sports Basement never charged us a venue fee. The park
wow,
we're in this year, we just had to pay, and luckily our co-sponsor, the Downtown Berkeley Association, is paying all of our permits this year.
nice. Wow, really, really nice. Okay, so what do you do the rest of the year?
Um, Let me see, let me count all of my hats. So my day job is I work in marketing. For my 9 to 5, I am a graduate school professor for future marriage family therapists. I have my
Hmm,
master's in counseling psychology. So right now I'm teaching 2 classes, one on Tuesdays and one on Thursdays. So I'm a professor. I have a day job. Um, I have my Instagram page, which I'm working on every day. I feel like there's a few things that I'm missing. Yeah, my background is I'm a therapist as well. So yeah, I just feel, and then I was also running a bi-weekly, then it turned into a monthly vegan marketplace on third Sundays. So yeah, it was kind of just like nonstop, kind of all over the place doing events all the time, and I'm teaching at night.
oh, I have an expression, the more you do, the more you get done.
Mm, yeah.
And if you think about it, I don't know if you've ever been in the situation where everything seems to come to a halt and you're not doing a lot. And then you don't really feel like doing anything. It's an interesting thing that when you're really busy, somehow you manage to organize all these different things and it becomes like a dance and you get so much done. At least it works that way for me. I don't know about anybody else. I never know how it is for anyone but myself.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to. I tell everyone's like, so how are you doing? I'm like, ask me on September 5th after I've returned the U-Haul, after I've,
Yeah,
gotten all the fees paid. Ask me a week after the festival and I'll let you know.
exactly. Another thing people don't realize is the after work after an event is almost as much as before the event. Now,
Yeah.
when people learn about a plant-based diet, a vegan diet, and they want to transition, many people find it difficult socially.
Yeah.
And there are some people that have been in different programs to help them go vegan, like a 3-week program, a month
Mm,
program. Some of them have been in documentaries. And then afterwards, they find it really hard to continue because society doesn't want you to be vegan. Society wants you to eat fast food. Society wants you to buy into all the products that are available by only a few big corporations who don't care about your health or the environment. And
yep.
it's not really your fault that you can't stick to something because the manipulation is intense and scientists are hired to make foods addicting. It's difficult.
Yes.
People need support to hold their hand through the journey until they can really have the courage, and it takes courage to do it on their own. And so I'm wondering what is available in your community for people to keep going.
Yeah, I would say in the Bay Area, the vegan Facebook groups are is kind of like where I got my support when I was first going vegan. Instagram was a huge help and having like these vegan mentors, so to speak, who helped me go and stay vegan. For me, I definitely think that going to the Veg Fest is a great way to like find out about ways to get involved in the vegan community as well. I've planned other nonprofits vegan food festivals as well. So I got a lot of practice before I started doing my own. And for me, if you follow me on Eventbrite, always say like go directly to the source. Don't go to my website. Go to Eventbrite. Whenever if you're following me on Eventbrite, as soon as I post a vegan event, like we'll be having a vegan Halloween party that I need to publish today. But once you're subscribed to my events, you'll be able to come and meet new vegans. And I have made so many friends who are vegans and people who are not vegans who follow me, who volunteer for our event as well. Like, there are pluses and minuses to every community, but I work very hard to curate a very positive vegan community for me and my uh community.
Aside from the festival, let's talk about Berkeley for a minute, or the
Yeah.
whole East Bay area.
Yeah.
I visit California a lot, and I know some of my favorite vegan restaurants, for example, in the area. I've loved Chaya. Are they still in Berkeley?
Yes.
They're little.
Yes.
There's a bigger one in San Francisco, but I've always loved them. I've just loved the whole spiritual feeling of that space.
Yeah.
They offer vegan Japanese food, kind of on the macrobiotic Japanese, lots
Yeah,
of
they're in
brothy, miso-y stuff.
Yeah, they're in North Berkeley in the gourmet ghetto. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a gourmet ghetto.
Yeah, that's what it's been nicknamed. Berkeley has so many fun, quirky things. I love Berkeley so much.
And then Timeless Bakery.
Yes.
They've always been a fun place to go for all kinds of vegan treats.
Yeah, with I actually got into Veg News magazine because they asked what was like my favorite local thing, and I love their cupcakes. So yeah, I love Timeless, and they've been a supporter of my events as well.
Nice. And then, of course, very long time restaurant Millennium, which originated in San Francisco, and now they're in
Oakland.
what's yeah, what is it called? They're t in the town that they're in.
Oakland?
Yeah, but it's a neighborhood in Oakland. What is it?
Oh, it's on College Avenue. It's not Temescal. I know where you're talking about, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And they've had some challenges recently where their restaurant was broken into and they had to, repair the glass, and it's just unfortunate. Some people, when they vandalize for whatever reason, they don't realize a particular small business that they're targeting. Some of them are really doing good things. Maybe some other, I'm not saying it's okay to vandalize anybody, but some
Right.
businesses deserve it much less than others.
Right. Yeah, Millennium's been amazing. They host monthly I think it's called Pups and Pastries where they,
Mm,
help raise money for animals who also need homes and yeah, Millennium's delicious and amazing.
yeah. Any other local businesses you want to mention?
I have to say a huge thank you to the Butcher Son. They donated $100 in gift cards to Bizerkeley Food Festival. They've always been amazing here in downtown Berkeley. My new favorite is Rico Vegano in the Lake Merritt neighborhood of Oakland. They're vegan shrimp tacos. I have fooled 12-year-olds who are like, "This is real shrimp, Miss Erika." And I'm
Wow.
like, "No, it's not. It's vegan."
Delicious, delicious vegan. Rico vegano.
Yes, yes. And my other favorite chef Raul Medina from La Taqueria La Veganza. I just had his vegan chicken nachos, which had our headliner Jordan. He literally screamed to the entire food hall, "This is vegan and this is amazing!" Like he loved him that much. So yeah, there's so many new vegan places popping up every day, and I think really just continue to foster that sense of like support our, vegan restaurants is really amazing. And my last one would have to be Casa Borinqueña, some of the most amazing vegan Puerto Rican food I've ever had in my entire life outside of Hawaii. So good.
Mm.
So good.
The message is you can have it all and it can be vegan, right?
Yes.
We don't need to exploit, torture, and slaughter innocent beings
Yes.
for exciting taste sensations.
Yes, that is the whole message of the Berkeley Food Festival. That's why we also don't put vegan in the name because I want people to come in with an open mind.
What blows me away, I've been vegan for 36 years, vegetarian for longer. I've been following the trend, and it's not a trend anymore. It is well rooted in our society, the vegan lifestyle. But for many people, somehow, I don't know if they've tuned it out or they just haven't been exposed enough, but it's something that's scary. And they're afraid to get involved and find out, or
Oh yeah.
they naturally react and cringe. And it
Hmm.
surprises me because we've been doing this for decades now.
Yeah, it's not new.
And yet still so many people react in a negative way. So there's still plenty of work to do.
Yes. Yeah, my family members are like, until they make a vegan version of Haagen-Dazs. And I'm like, you know what? I've had amazing vegan ice cream. It's
It
not
exists.
it and that's where like the food critic in me comes out like, okay, if my family is my target audience, I have to come with the best of the best.
I want to add a moment disclaimer just because I want to cover all bases. I love what you're doing, and I'm glad that there are so many vendors out there creating vegan foods. And as I said earlier, if we're going to eat whatever we're going to eat, burgers, beef, pork, shrimp, let it be vegan. We do not need to kill animals to have these foods.
Right.
And then I'm going to say, if you're in a health crisis, or
Mm,
if you're getting on in years, I'm 66,
mm,
sometimes you need to upgrade your diet to give you more energy or to fight disease or to help heal. And once you know that you don't need to consume animals, you're in a great place
yeah.
because you can back off from some of the richer, salty oil, sugary foods and go back to simple plant foods that are going to nourish you and help you heal.
Yes.
So this is an important step because some people really believe they need to consume animals just to live.
Right.
And some of these foods may not be the healthiest for human consumption, but the
Yeah.
transition, the arc for many people needs to be there.
Yeah, it can definitely be a process, and I think we ignore how inflammatory animal products can be to our bodies, and it's just amazing how much I've learned because I went vegan also for health reasons. Cancer runs in, I don't want to say it runs in my family, but I have a lot of family members who have been diagnosed, and so I know for me, like I have to do my part to lower my, you know, likelihood of getting breast cancer specifically.
Mhm. Well, my listeners know I'm on a health journey right now. 18 years ago, I had advanced ovarian cancer. I'm fine
Mm,
now. And I
congratulations.
attribute that to a really clean diet, lots of greens, lots of juices. And now, for the last 25 years or so, I've had high cholesterol, and my vegan cardiologist told me I needed statins. I don't want to go there. It's an ongoing journey that I am going to report on for the next 11 months because I started last month eating a salt, oil, and sugar-free, SOS-free diet, which makes trying all of these wonderful new vegan products impossible. But I have already tried many and I love them and I promote them. I think they're a great thing, but they're just not on my menu for the moment because I want to show that I can reduce my cholesterol and my high LDL and get rid of the soft plaque that has obviously been collecting. And I want to be able to turn that around naturally. And that's the mission I am on. It's not for everyone. I know that, but I do like to put it out there for people who need to know.
Right.
I like to say we're all on this food continuum, and eliminating animal products is somewhere on that continuum. And there's always more that we can do as humans. We can always improve in everything that we do, but we need to open our eyes. We need to go to vegan food festivals.
Right.
We need to learn that this food is delicious and you can get off the animal.
Yeah, it's been 8 years for me, and I cannot imagine a reality where I would not be vegan now.
Exactly. I go into a store, I just don't see so many products. It's not food. It's just not food.
It's torture. Yeah.
Okay, well, Erika, Hazel, I really enjoyed talking with you. I'm very excited about your event. I want everybody to go. I'm in New York, so I'm going to miss it this year, but maybe next year. I can schedule some time to get there. And I hope it's a tremendous success. I hope many people see the light and realize that we don't want to kill animals.
Yeah. Let the animals be animals.
Let animals be animals and live their lives. It's a big journey. We all need courage. Like you have courage. Thanks for shining the light and showing many people a better place.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Yeah, good. Okay, take care of yourself and be well.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye. That was Erika Hazel, the Bizerkeley Vegan, and once again, the Bizerkeley Food Festival is set to take place at Martin Luther King Jr. Civic Center Park. That's 2151 Martin Luther King Jr. Way, Berkeley, California. Guests can enter on the corners of Center Street and Alston Way on Martin Luther King Jr. Way and Milvia Street entrances. Tickets are now on sale and can be purchased online at eventbrite.com or at the door. And of course, you can visit the Bizerkeleyvegan.com. And if you're going to go, let me know how it went. I'm Karen Hartglass. You've been listening to just another episode of It's All About Food. Thank you so much for joining me. You can find me at responsibleeatingandliving.com. Email comments and questions at info@realmeals.org. And if you get a chance and you're listening on your favorite podcast app, could you please rate this podcast? We can always use a little extra recognition, a little boost. And you're listening, and if you like listening, spread the word. It's all about food. Since 2009 on the Progressive Radio Network. A shout out to everybody there at PRN, Progressive Radio Network. Remember, everybody, have a delicious week.